And go.
Well, hi everyone. We have made it to Uganda. We traveled 30 hours, 3 different flights from the United States, and just arrived several hours ago. Of course, we're following these pre-printed Super Bowl shirts and finding out if they're making a difference here in this area. So we have stopped by the national office in Uganda for World Vision, and we are meeting with Ruta. She's our national director. So Ruta, thanks for joining us. We want to learn a little bit about what World Vision is doing in this country. So what is this area like, and what are we doing as a staff?
World Vision has been working in Uganda, which is in the eastern part of Africa, for the past 20-odd years, starting from 1986, when the country was affected by HIV/AIDS and left a lot of children orphaned. Then in the northern part of Uganda, which you're going to be visiting, Gulu, that part of the country has been affected by a 20-year-old conflict. There was a rebel force, the Lord's Resistance Army, and they would abduct children, they would kill, and they would maim. So a lot of the people were moved into protected camps. And it's only in the past 4 years that they've started moving back to their homes. So they're having to construct their homes, they're having to construct schools, and to build healthcare facilities, and to drill water wells so that they can meet just the basic needs. And World Vision is partnering with communities in northern Uganda to do that.
So we've got these 500 Super Bowl shirts that are with us, just a small part of the product that we're going to be distributing nationwide or worldwide. So can you tell us, do you feel like these shirts will actually make a difference in these children's lives?
Yes, they will, because a lot of children drop out of school, basically because they only have one set of decent clothes, and a t-shirt could just be such a significant addition to their wardrobe so that they can show up at school and be among other children. And remember that these communities you're going to be visiting, they produce very little income from their land. And from that income, they have to buy food, they have to pay for healthcare, and they have to continue opening up their land so that they have more. Now, they don't often have money to spare to buy that extra shirt that their child needs. So it can have a huge impact for these communities, for them to receive, as it were, a hand up, to free up some of their money so that they can invest in the care, nutrition of their children, healthcare that is needed very much in the northern part of Uganda.
Well, and of course our goal for World Vision is not to just go and dump shirts anywhere or just hand out shirts. The overall goal is for us to be able to help communities develop and get to a level where they're sustainable without any of World Vision's help. Do you feel like these shirts actually play a small role in that overall goal, in that process?
Whatever World Vision does to help communities free up some of their money so that they can actually invest in more agriculture, maybe some small business, it helps them to look to the future. So giving shirts takes out an additional expense item from their income, and that helps communities to invest into the more long-term things like micro-enterprise, small businesses, education of children, because if they didn't have those shirts, they might have to divert some of their money and buy those shirts, because sometimes we underestimate how limited their income is.
Well, and shirts, as we're learning, are just one of many products that World Vision distributes in communities all across the world. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the other GIK or gift in kind, or what we'll call stuff, that World Vision is handing out in communities?
Well, here in Uganda, we've been receiving some very useful items like deworming medication, which we can use in our nutrition program, because one of the key components of making sure that children can achieve a good nutritional balance is to flush out the worms from their system, and we've been receiving those deworming medication. We've received some caregiver kits, because we work with community volunteers. We visit people who are infected by HIV and they are not able to go into hospitals, so these volunteers visit them at home, and they need gloves, they need some medication, some bandages. The caregiver kits that we receive have all those things, including even buckets, so that they can wash themselves and keep any wounds or their bodies clean. So they've really contributed to our health programs. We've also received some beds that we've donated to hospitals so that patients can be examined. The government of Uganda tries very hard to make sure that families are within a reach of a health center, but they are very poorly equipped. And some of the items we are receiving, we're able to equip the health center so that they can meet the health requirements of the communities.
We were talking a little while earlier about just even something as simple as a suit in this community can actually really make a difference. Can you share with me the story about how getting a suit can even actually help in the process of encouraging a young couple to get married, and why that's important?
Well, you know, we, as World Vision, being a Christian organization, we try and encourage families to really have a structured life where people are married according to the Christian tradition, and a lot of them are cohabiting, just living together because they cannot raise the money that they need to have a decent wedding. Now in Uganda, a suit is a very important part of having a wedding. And we got a consignment of suits, I think it was 2 years ago, and we're able to organize a mass wedding for couples who really wanted to commit themselves to each other so that they can create the environment that is so good for their children, where the husband and wife know they are legitimately married. So the suits were a big part of hosting this mass wedding. So they played a big part of them living out their Christian identity and creating an environment that is sustainable and strong for the children in the community.
What a great story, and what a great example of the type of work that World Vision is doing. So we are going to be heading up to Gulu next, and that's where we're going to continue to track these pre-printed Super Bowl shirts. In the meantime, we just challenge you to continue to learn a little bit more about World Vision as we go. So of course, log on to worldvision.org.